Hi guys, Russ here from Wilson Land and Cattle Company. Today we're going to be planting cover crops. Before we get started, please subscribe, like, comment, share with a friend, and hit that notification bell. Don't forget to watch to the end to see the time lapse. We're going to do a time lapse on this field and we'll see how it turns out. I've never done a time lapse planting before, so we'll see how it works out. Hopefully it's a pretty neat video. So stick out to the end and watch that time lapse. We just moved the cows out of this field yesterday, and we moved them to a lease property, and they're down there grazing, and we did some videos down there, so watch out for them. I don't know if they're coming out before or after, but they're going to be right in this time frame here somewhere. And after we move the cows out, we have all the fences and stuff tore out. There is a water line over there I'm going to have to stop and pull off to the side so we don't cut it up with the drill. And you can see the residue that we left here on the soil, and a lot of it's worked in. The cows had approximately 25 days here on this field. It's 5.5 acres at around 80 animal units, so you can figure out the grazing days. I didn't figure that out, but if you have any questions on that, throw a comment down below and I'll give you the actual grazing days that we had on this field. The residue is already breaking down. It's pretty well worked into the soil for what we laid down. We laid down a lot of biomass. It's amazing how well it's working back into the soil. And some of the sorghum Sudan grass is actually coming back. These things that look like corn, that's sorghum Sudan grass or forage sorghum. And then the smaller stuff here, that's Japanese millet. That stuff's going to terminate here soon, as we get a frost. So I'm not worried about it competing with the cover crops that we're putting into the field. And let's hop over here to the cornfield and I'll show you the cover crop that we put in before. There's electric in this fence, so I'm going to walk around. I have a groundhog living here. I tried trapping him out of there, but he was too smart. He kept tripping the trap, and so I guess he can stay. At least until Scout can catch them. Scout or Paige. This is the cover crop field we planted right after the cows come out of here. It's doing really well. It looks good. It's going to do well for us. You can see here's a radish growing, a little clover growing. And of course this is winter rye. There wasn't a lot of species in here, but we tried to get a little bit of diversity. Surprised there was a spot of radishes that for some reason got into one row. Didn't have them mixed up too good in the seed box. It's something that I don't really worry about so much on annuals because they're only going to be there for a short period of time, and my hopes is to get them to stabilize the soil and keep living roots in there, keep that biology working. That biology is very important for us. And one thing to take note as we're walking across here, we laid a lot of corn stalks down. That residue is pretty well all gone. I mean, there's still some of the larger corn stalks, but for the most part it is gone. That's good. It means we got biology working in the soil and it's doing a really good job for us. Let's hop on over here and look and see what we got in the grain drill or the grass drill. We're using a Truax Flex 2 8-hoe grain drill with my John Deere 5300 4-wheel drive tractor. It's a 1995. We bought it used. It had 3,800 hours on it. I think it's pushing 7,000 hours now. We bought it in 2008, so we put about 4,000 hours on it since 2008. In the last 5 or 6 years, we haven't put 10 or 15 hours on it an entire year. So that was back in the haymaking time, and it really made a lot of We put a lot of hours on it back in our haymaking days, until we got wised up and figured out it's cheaper just to leave the grass stand out in the field and let them graze it. If you're not familiar with the Truax grain drill or grass drill, this here's set up on no-till. We got no-till coulters in front, and then it has a disc with bands on it that's called depth bands, which actually adjusts the depth. We're putting those seeds down maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch, which works well in this setting. We can get different size depth bands for it, but that's the most common size, and you can see over here in this cover crop it's doing well. And then it has a press wheel here on the back that helps close the seed row, or sort of kind of helps close the seed row. Let's take a look and see what we got in there. We have a pretty diverse set of species that we're planting today. We have red and white clover, turnips, and Timothy in here in the small seed box. And we're putting that on at a rate of about 4 pounds to the acre. And then in this seed box here, we have winter rye, which is the majority of it. We have winter peas, there's radishes, there's kale, there's hairy vetch, crimson clover. There's quite a diverse mix here, but the majority of it's winter rye. And the cover crops don't have to be expensive. A lot of times I see guys paying really big money for cover crops, and it's not necessary most of the time. I can go out and I can buy winter rye for about $7 a bushel off a local farmer, and there's a lot of guys that are raising it. So, you know, check Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, places like that. Put one ad out if you're wanting to plant winter rye, because some of these cover crops that are pre-mixed, like Ray's Crazy Mix, man, that stuff's expensive. You know, it's about $50 a bag, and they're asking you to put 100 pounds to the acre, and you know, it's $100 an acre, and it doesn't have to be that expensive. We're planting this, and it's costing us approximately $35 an acre to plant it, and that's with the tractor, the equipment costs, and my labor to make it. So, you know, you can do it. You can do it cheaply. You know, the ideal way that I would have planted this would have been to broadcast the seed in front of the cows and let them work it in. But unfortunately, being that the sorghum sedan grass in here was 10-12 feet tall, I couldn't broadcast seed naturally. So we're gonna have to drill it in. And that's not a problem. It's gonna take probably 2-3 hours to plant this 5.5 acres. It'll do well for us. Okay guys, we're gonna get planting here. Hopefully you liked the video. Please subscribe, like, comment, share with a friend, and hit that notification bell. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great day.